we're doing with the All Punked Up podcast. We are doing album reviews. I am your host, Allie Rincon. You know me from the regular news episodes that I do with Tyler and the rest of the crew. And today I'm going to be co-hosting this with my, lovely colleague, Noah Cross. How are you doing today, Noah? Say hi.
Pretty good. What's up? How are you doing?
I'm doing all right. I'm enjoying, you know, my week as, as best as anybody can during a pandemic. So, you know,
I
how
get
are
that.
you? How have you been? Congratulations, by the way, on your engagement. I know it's not like recent, but like it's recent,
Yeah,
if
it's
that
recent
makes any
enough.
sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's recent
Thank
enough to
you.
say congrats.
Thank you. Yeah, we just got back from a vacation today, actually. We spent the weekend away.
Oh, cool. Where'd you go?
We went like 3 hours west from where we live. Just a nice little in-state vacation. It was fun though.
Cool. Awesome. Well, that sounds relaxing.
Oh yeah, it was fun.
Cool. Well, today, guys, we have a great album to talk to you about. We are reviewing Knuckle Puck's album 2020. I was so hyped to get this link in my email, and Noah was definitely as well. And we're
Oh
really
yeah.
excited to talk to you about the highs and the lows and the meh in this album. Although I will say, just there were more highs than anything else in this album.
Oh
Noah,
yeah.
do you agree?
Yes.
Yeah.
100%.
Well, let's get started and start talking about it. So I'll go ahead and start us off, if that's okay.
All right.
Start us off with the start of the album, 2020, the title track of the album. I will say, like, this was such an energizing start to this album. I was so, like, I know hyped is probably overused now as, like, a slang term in this year, but it's just like I couldn't use any other word. I was just like ecstatic. There you go. I was ecstatic at the beginning of this album. It was
It was
so
so good.
energizing. Yeah, I was like dancing in my apartment, like wishing I was at like a concert because of course. And yeah, I don't know. I felt like it really dived into kind of talking about like even in the lyrics. One of the lyrics that really touched me was "We'll never get a second chance staring down these falling grains of sand." And like I felt like the theme of the song was really trying to tell people that everything is temporary and you can only really enjoy life if you choose not to hide from it. At least that's what I got from it personally.
That's kind of what
Um,
I got too.
yeah. What did you notice about the track? What stood out to you, Noah?
All just right away that first couple measures and it breaks into the full riff and it's just instantly you're like, holy crap, this album's gonna be great. You just
Yeah.
know right from that point. It's easily one of the top three on the album for me. The
Yeah, same.
the lyrics you just gave are part of the chorus, and I think it's one of the catchiest choruses and one of the most meaningful choruses on this album too. It gives you that hope, like everything's gonna be okay type of thing.
Yeah.
You
Yeah, for
need
sure.
to
And we
once you
all
see
need
what's
that.
important,
Yeah. We
everything
all
will be
need
okay.
yeah. We all need that like whole message of things are going to be fine even if the world is like kind of falling apart. And
Oh.
although the like title is like 2020 talking about vision, I feel like there's a double meaning there,
Yeah,
you
oh,
know?
for sure.
There's a double meaning. But yeah, moving on from there, Noah, do you want to take the next track?
Yeah, Tune You Out. It was my favorite single that they released.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it was the first one too. I don't
Yeah, it came out in
100% remember
February.
that.
Yeah, it came out in
Yeah,
February.
yeah, because they played it. They were the last concert I saw actually before the
Really?
pandemic was Knuckle Puck and Heart Attack Man.
Oh.
And I remember them playing that there. They also played Breathe, but Breathe wasn't out yet.
Oh.
But yeah, that was my favorite single. It is so catchy. I love the instrumental, and then the lyrics too are just it is all together just a good song.
Yeah. I remember when the music video came out, there's this like sound bite so towards the end of the song. I think it's around the 2:20 mark. It's like from Donnie Darko. And I was just like, what? Did they put a Donnie Darko soundbite in this? That's amazing. That's one of my favorite movies.
That is
I was
awesome.
I was just really hyped. And then like I don't know, the soundbite like relates to the themes of the song as well, where it talks about like emotion and like kind of the lyrics. Like if you pay attention to them, I know like some people are more instrumental
Yeah.
people, some people are more lyrical people. I am the latter of those two. uh so like it talks about the lyricist's relationship with someone who has a habit of like blowing up during arguments, and like the way that they've like learned to cope with this person is just by like ignoring them until they've calmed down. And like it kind of like turns into like a whole like pondering on, crap, should I just break up with this person? I really hope that like they learn how to like control their emotions, control their anger problems, and like recover, because like this is impacting me in such a terrible way. Like I don't know, I don't know, it was a really good track. It was probably in my top three as well, and I was very, like I said earlier, just really stoked to hear Donnie Darko make a cameo in this.
I have not watched the video, but now I definitely am gonna go do that
You definitely
after
should.
this.
Also, other one more point I want to make. Nick's falsettos in this song contrast so great with Joe's screams. It was just like
Oh
peanut
yeah,
butter and jelly. It was just amazing. Well, okay, peanut butter and banana because I personally hate jelly, but I love banana. So peanut butter and banana,
I can
amazing.
dig it.
Yep, yep, yep.
I That's one thing I have to note about this whole album. I kind of
Mhm.
want to like talk about the whole impressions after we get through the songs, but one
Oh
of the
yeah,
things I have is Nick's vocals on it. I've always loved his vocals, and he has a really good voice, and they just share them so well throughout this whole album. The back and forth, it's amazing. There's
yeah,
no other words for it, just
yeah.
amazing.
It's just amazing. Well, anyway, um, on to the next track. We got Sidechain.
Side chain.
I I mean, I didn't make a whole lot of notes for this song. I just got like so enwrapped in it that by the time it was over, I was just like, "Oh, wait, it's done." Oh, whoops. I will say that it has like the line, "So where do we go from here? Depends on what you're running from." I was just like, "Whoa." I'm running from
Yeah.
so many things personally. We can go in so many directions.
Where you want to start?
Well, I mean, yeah, exactly. It has a really strong chorus.
Yes,
Like,
it
I,
does.
it was, I think, my favorite bit of the track altogether. And, other than the chorus, though, like, I think it was good, but nothing else really stood out to me personally. Like, the instrumentals were great, and I felt really, like, I felt strongly towards them. But other than, like, that and that one line, nothing else personally stood out. What about you, Noah?
I love the instrumental, but like we kind of said, you're way more into lyrics and I am the instrumentals of things. So,
Hmm.
on an instrumental standpoint, this song is great. And like you said, the chorus, it's my favorite chorus on the whole album. It's upbeat and meaningful. It's just it's such a good song overall.
Yeah. Like I could definitely see a bunch of people getting excited over it once concerts are a thing again, whenever
Yes.
that is.
I It's funny, so Tune You Out came out as a single, so we heard 2020 opened up the album with that new song. Knew the
Hmm.
album was gonna be good. You kind of got a break with Tune You Out because you're familiar with it. And
Hmm.
then it came in and played Sidechain, and I just instantly was like, holy crap, I can't wait to hear all the other songs that I have not heard yet on this. So the
Hmm.
next little batch of songs were all singles, so we had like four songs that I already heard.
Yeah, there were so many singles. Like, oh my goodness. I think we had what? Let me see, like five? Five singles? One, two, three. Yeah, we had
Yeah,
five
five.
singles prior to this
But
album being released on September 18th. Be ready, guys. Um,
you got to think though, the album was supposed to come out in May, but because of
True.
everything, they pushed it back. So I feel
Yeah.
like it wasn't in the plan to have five, but they felt bad for the long pushback.
Oh, yeah, I would feel bad too. But yeah, anyway, do you want to take over Earthquake?
Yeah, I love this song. I
Mm-hmm.
think this is contender for the catchiest song on the whole album.
Mm-hmm.
It's my second favorite single. I actually uh the guitarist, the lead guitarist, not Nick, I can't remember the other one's name though. He tweeted out or put on Instagram when this single came out that it was a very controversial song because they were worried it was going to be too poppy for the album, and
Mm-hmm.
it made me love Knuckle Puck so much more because there's some quote unquote pop punk bands that their hardest thing on their new albums isn't even close to what this is, and they were worried that this was too poppy.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. That's why I love Knuckle Puck. They've always kept their sound while growing
Mm-hmm.
and becoming more diverse at the same time. It's part of the reason they're such a good band, and we haven't even seen close to the end of them yet. It's because they just stay true to themselves. They don't care to please a certain audience. They just make what they want to make and continue to grow and stay on their own path.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%. They, I think whenever they try to diversify their sound, they still do it in a very knuckle puck way. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
exactly.
Yeah. Like they and their fans, from what I've seen from their fan base, I mean, I could be wrong. I know that there are always going to be people who are like, no, don't change. Keep doing this. But like, I think from what I've seen from their fan base, like everybody has been super supportive whenever they do make changes anyway.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
so
They're
yeah.
one of my top five bands and have been for years, and I don't have a single complaint about anything they release. They're growing and becoming, they're sounding different, but in the same knuckle puck way, I guess is the best way you can put it.
Yeah, exactly.
There's
Um,
no other band you can compare them to. No one sounds
yeah.
like that.
Yeah. Oh, wait. But speaking of comparisons, though, I will say this. I do have one note for Earthquake. I don't know what it was, but somewhere early in the guitar riff, it sounded kind of like "Damned If I Do Ya" by All Time Low. I don't know what it is. There was just something. I was just like, wait, this sounds like it sounds new but familiar, and maybe that's just because like a lot of pop punk bands and alternative bands will take influence from other people in the scene, and that's just how music works in general. But yeah, there was just like a moment where I was like, wait.
I have almost the same note for the song True North, the 10th song on the album. And
Yeah.
we'll talk more about it when we get there. But I have
Mhm.
almost the same note. I can't think of the song, though. You could at least think of the song. But there's something that
Mhm.
dropped right before the chorus that reminds me of a different song.
Oh goodness.
All right,
Okay,
let's
but
keep
yes,
going.
let's keep going. We now have, then we move on to RSVP. That single came out in it came out April 21st. My first note is just absolute banger. Uh, I sound stupid whenever I say that, but it was just like the best way I could describe it. Um, at the beginning though, there's like a longer silent period than I was expecting, and I thought my speaker was broken because I could see the time. I could see the time going, and I was like, "Wait, is my computer broken? Or my headphones broken? Like, is my equipment broken? I'm so scared. Am I gonna be able to listen to the rest of this album?" And then it just comes in, and you're just like, "Whoa, okay." And then I think my favorite line from that one was, "If I'm telling the truth, I won't miss you. I won't be missing you." Uh, I was just like, "Damn, that." I can relate to that for many situations happening right now.
Yeah,
I can
same.
say that about this year. I can say that about people who have like left my life this year. I'm just like, yeah, yeah, this hits. This hits on so many levels.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's kind of funny because this song had to grow on me. The first time I heard it, I don't know what it is. I think it's because the chorus is kind of choppy rather than just heavy and plays all the way through. It's kind of choppy where it's kind of broken up.
Yeah.
And I think that threw me off because I wasn't expecting it. So it took a while for it to grow on me. But now, like, it comes on and I get hype. I love the instrumental to it. The guitars are so complex and so like fast and punk, but slow and catchy at the same time. It's a great instrumental song. The lyrics grew on me, and I went from being about it to just absolutely loving it now.
Yeah.
It's a great song.
Yeah. It is a great song. It's in my like top 5 for sure. Do you want to take on the big feature of this album?
Breathe with Derek from Mayday Parade.
Oh my gosh, Derek Sanders, man, well, I'll go ahead, go ahead. No, I don't want to distract this.
My my first note on this is how mad I was how long it took them to release it. So I saw them February 22nd, and they released 2 to 3 singles before they released Breathe. And I remember hearing it live thinking, oh my God, I can't wait till it comes out. They played it live, so it's probably the next single. And they just kept announcing single after single, and it wasn't Breathe. And I was like, I need the song on my playlist. The
Yeah.
song slapped. And then it came out and it featured Derek, and I was just like, what the? Oh, I was so hyped. There's no
Hmm.
words to put for it. Just,
Hmm.
and the song, it definitely gave what I thought it would.
It is just so good. Derek Sanders, I mean, if anybody knows me, you know that Derek Sanders is like one of, if not the like favorite like artist for me in this genre. Like he's a huge inspiration for me as a musician. And I don't know, it felt like it feels, other than like it being my favorite track on the album, I'm gonna just say it now, it is my favorite, probably because of my bias towards Derek Sanders. But like he just fits so perfectly into this song, and I don't know if like I mean I'm sure I'm not the only one who's noticed this, but like I feel like modern pop punk nowadays is like really going back to this more like upbeat, like positive, like summery sound, like from the early 2000s, like late 90s kind of time period, you remember? And
I can
then
agree with that.
yeah,
Yeah.
and like it's kind of like, not saying that everybody is doing this, because we're still definitely getting bands that are still in this very intense, aggressive, kind of like sad boy like sound from the
It got
mid 2010s. We
it got
still
real
have,
emo for a minute.
yeah, we still have bands we still have bands doing that and they're killing it, but I feel like a lot of bands are also kind of going back to that early late 90s, early 2000s, mid 2000s kind of sound where, you know, everything was very upbeat. Don't get me wrong, we were still sad, but it was upbeat sadness. And
The
like that's
Wonder
why like,
Years, cough cough.
yeah. But that's why I felt Derek fits so perfectly into this song, because like that's when Mayday first, you know, hit it big I almost said 26, but 2006, because now we're so used to saying 20, whatever the year is. In 2006,
2006.
2006, in 2006 with their EP, Tales Told by Dead Friends, and their first, you know, of course, their first debut album, that
So
came out
good.
the following year. And yeah, it's my favorite. It has a nostalgic, summery feel, like the same kind of summery that was in Earthquake, but a little bit more nostalgic, but yet still modern. I don't. Yeah, okay, I'm gonna stop talking about it now. Any.
Yeah, I also have to know when I first hit the song on my first playthrough of the whole album when I got the link for it
Mhm.
is the drumming is just next level with this. Their drummer's always been amazing, but like he's not trying to be the fastest or do the most complex fills. He's playing with the song and it just there's no words to describe it other than he's just really next level with his drumming.
Yeah.
If you if you guys are hearing this before Friday, you'll see what I'm talking about when it comes out. But if it's already out, go and listen and just ignore the rest of the album. Just listen to the drums all the way through. That's usually what I
Hmm.
do on my first listens because I love drumming.
Hmm.
And you'll see what I'm saying. This album's just next level with the drums.
Yeah. But yeah, I that's all I really have to say about the track. It's my favorite, and yeah, we should maybe move on to the next one.
Yeah, we could sit on
um,
this one all day.
yeah, yeah, easily. This could be an entire episode.
Oh
Just
yeah.
that one song. But anyway, next up, What Took You So Long? Which I at first thought that they were covering Knuckle Puck. I mean, not Knuckle Puck. Excuse me. At first, I thought Knuckle Puck covering Knuckle Puck. No, at first I thought they were covering Neck Deep, because Neck Deep also has a song called What Took You So Long. But then I was, of course, I was just like, oh, why would they put a cover on their album? But whatever, I'm into it. And then I listened to it and I was like, oh, okay, never mind. Same name, very different song. I thought that the opening was classic Knuckle Puck.
Oh
Because it
yeah.
has like a very hooky, like encapsulating guitar riff. It just like draws you in. And then the snare comes in and it just like I don't know what it was, but as soon as the snare and the drums came in, I just like instantly wanted to start like moshing in my apartment. Not like a heavy I'm gonna punch people kind of moshing. I mean like I want to dance
Jump
around a
around,
group of
yeah.
people and like I don't know, do make like a group, do like a circle or something, I don't know. In the middle of the floor or something, I don't know.
It's that
Um
next level drumming, I'm telling you.
yeah, you're right. But yeah, that this single came out, I think, not last, but like second to last. I think it came out in July. And it was a lyric video, and it was just very colorful, very nostalgic, very I don't know, almost the aesthetic almost reminded me of like 90s MTV almost.
Yeah.
Um, but
Yeah, that's about what did for me too. It was really old school
mhm,
looking, like nostalgic.
yeah. Yeah, very nostalgic. I mean, at first I don't know, I just really liked this song. Again, it wasn't like a standout for me personally, but I did think that it um did draw on a lot of classic like knuckle puck themes, which like I said earlier, like the infectious guitars, the like mosh dance inducing, snares and drums, drum lines. I don't know. It was just a classic.
It
Nothing
is
to
a
really hate.
classic.
Nothing to hate. Nothing to like personally. Nothing to be like, oh yes, I want to listen to that song again. But it was like good. It was good.
Yeah, I put that I would not skip it if it came on, but it's not being added to my playlist. So kind of the same feeling. I like the
Yeah.
song. It's a really, really good song, but
Hmm.
nothing about it really caught my attention to the point where I'd replay it over and over and jam to it.
Yeah. I will say that this was, I don't know, kind of, we were off the air. We were kind of talking about where this album kind of fell off for both of us. And I think after What Took You So Long, we kind of had the same kind of vibe as to like where it was still a good album, but it wasn't exactly like catching our attention anymore. Do you want to talk on this for Into the Blue, Noah?
Yeah, I love the opening riff for Into the Blue, and
Hmm.
then halfway through the verse they kind of change it up and it is really good. And the lyrics are very relatable.
Hmm.
And kind of like you were saying, this isn't a bad album, but there's just something from when you hit Into the Blue down, it just kind of you lose like your attention span goes somewhere else. It's
Yeah.
just non-existent. But they're
Hmm.
really, really good songs. There's not a song on this album I don't like.
Yeah.
And I
Bless
put
you.
it in, I put in my notes too that every single song on this album can jam. Like you don't stop bobbing your head at all from start to finish. This album's just great.
Yeah.
But it
I,
definitely dies down a little bit though.
yeah, I think there was just like for me on Into the Blue, like the instrumental intro was great, but whenever the vocals came in, it just something about the vocal line for me personally, it just I don't know. Whenever it came in, I was just like, ooh, like it took me a minute to get back into it, but I felt like once my attention was broken, it was really hard for me to get back into the song. Like you said, I didn't hate it. I liked Into the Blue, but it was just kind of like I don't know. It was just kind of like, God, okay, I want to move on to the next song. Like I found it really hard to just sit through it.
Yeah,
Great, like
I agree with
not it was
that.
great, and like if this was on shuffle on a playlist, I'd let it play for sure. But I think after a really strong first half to the album, it was like my mind was just kind of like, okay,
Yeah, you
okay.
had so much you just need to kind of take a break.
Mhm. Yeah. Which in a way we did get into a break with Green Eyes, polarized in parentheses. Green Eyes polarized? I don't whatever. you know what I'm trying to say. I felt like I liked the slower vibe switch because it did allow, I guess it allowed me to kind of like relax for a second. Like, don't get me wrong, it still had a lot of energy,
The
but it was
chorus hits.
yeah, but it had like a different kind of like upbeat energy. It was the kind that was just like, I don't know, let's sit here and like listen to a song about beginnings and endings and um I don't know, just kind of like take a breather almost.
Yeah, I personally really like this song, but the same with the whole second half of this album is the kind of loses my attention partway through every song. But I think that's one of the catchiest riffs. Like it's number one or two. It's tied up there for the catchiest riff on the album. That intro riff, and then it comes back in on the outro. It's so catchy and so like good. I don't know another way to describe it. It's just
Yeah.
you'll just
Yeah.
bob your head to it, and it's like a slower verse, and then the chorus comes in, it gets fast and punchy again, back
Mhm.
to the slower verse. It's just a really good song.
Yeah. I think that of all the songs on here, this was my least favorite.
Really? I
Like,
would put it at my least favorite.
I mean, my least favorite, it's kind of a tie between Green Eyes and True North. I think because just True North, well, you're gonna be talking about True North, I guess, now, because that's all I have to say about Green Eyes, and I think that's all you have to say about Green Eyes.
Yeah,
Um, but yeah, just I think True North was just a bit long in my opinion because we have a bunch of songs that are under 3:30 and then all of a sudden we have a song that's at 3:38, which I know is like okay, 8 seconds, calm down, but like
it makes a difference.
it does make a difference. Yeah. I think um okay, wait, no, I'm going to change my answer. True North was probably my least favorite just cuz I felt like it was long.
I have that down as mine too, but do have it also down that that riff is going to be fun for a live show. The way it kind of builds up and drops is going to
Mhm.
go crazy. The crowd's going to go nuts. I can't wait to be in a crowd when they play that song if they do.
Yeah.
It's going to be great.
I mean, this album in general, once it's played live, I mean, I'll have no complaints. I think I think I'll have no complaints if it's played live. I feel like live obviously gives off such a different energy than when you just sit down and listen to an album all the way through,
Oh yeah.
you know? But yeah. Yeah, True North least favorite, not because I hate it, just because I felt like it was a little long.
We got Miles Away.
Yeah, the last one.
Last I this was a good closing song.
Yeah, I
It
felt like it was a strong ending.
It was. They kind of brought it back. My attention span was still kind of short for this song, but it kept drawing me back in. The league, I think what it was is on an instrumental standpoint, is the guitars were kind of heavy and fast with this slow, kind of melodic lead guitar going way in the background of it all. And
Mhm.
that kept catching my attention. Like, I couldn't tell you any of the lyrics from the song because every time it plays, I just catch myself jamming to that little lead guitar part going in the background.
Mhm.
It's
Yeah.
so subtle, like you have to listen for it, but it's there and it's really good. It's really melodic and just ties the whole song together.
I agree 100%. Yeah, I have nothing to add. You've taken the words right out of my mouth. Strong ending. I really hope that you know everybody follows COVID guidelines so that concerts can be a thing, so that shows and tours can be a thing, so we can
Yes,
see this album be
please.
played live. So please wear a mask. Please wash your hands. Please be smart. Please use common sense. Um, yeah, overall notes.
What do you
I mean,
give this album, Allie? What's your out of 10?
out of 10, considering that considering that my last, like my least favorite songs, or least favorite song, like I said earlier, True North was my least favorite, and Green Eyes was like above that. Um, I would give this album like an 8.5 out of 10, mostly because like that was like I don't know. I really liked all of the songs. It's just, I mean, I think if you have a real, this is still a really strong album, and I think when your weakest one is True North and Green Eyes, and there's still
And there's
songs that I
such
think a
good
lot of people are
songs,
gonna
yes.
like. I think it's still pretty strong. You're only as strong as your weakest link, and for me, I thought the weakest links were True North and Green Eyes. But they're still really great songs. Like if those had just been shown to me like in a playlist or if they had been released as singles, I probably would have enjoyed them more or something. Um, but like I don't have any other complaints other than having a short attention span. But that's
I
my
think
bad.
if you
And
go back and listen to it starting at In the Blue and just listen to In the Blue, Green Eyes, True North, and Miles Away, there's a whole different perspective to those songs.
yeah, I'm sure that
Like,
there is. Yeah, I'm sure that there is.
I gave it a 9 out of 10 or a 19 out of 20 rather than 2020, if you would. I just
Clever. Love it.
there's not a bad song. The only complaint I have is the fact that you have such a short attention span at the end because of how fast and punchy the first half of the album is.
hmm Maybe if they had like rearranged it. I mean, obviously, like these are all just our opinions. Like you
Yeah,
can
our
disagree with
opinions are
us.
just our
Yeah,
opinions.
our opinions are just opinions, and that's okay. Just like how your opinions are your opinions, and we can discuss further or whatever. But I felt like if they had maybe rearranged, I'm sure they had it arranged a certain way, and that's the band's decision. I feel like if they had rearranged it, maybe putting I don't know, breathe and earthquake and I don't know, maybe even sidechain, like kind of further down the album and had put Into the Blue and Green Eyes in the middle, maybe that would have like helped with kind of like giving it some punch, a break, and then back to like that energy that we had in the beginning. But I'm sure that they made these decisions for a certain reason. And that's just, that's just how it is.
Yeah, I agree. I
Yeah.
agree. The drumming on this album, though, I cannot stress that enough. The drumming is so good on this album.
Nice.
This
Yeah, the drumming is amazing. I will say that.
I think this album's gonna elevate them to the next level. Knuckle Puck. It's gonna do. I
Oh God,
think
fingers
what
crossed.
I think this is gonna do what Life's Not Out to Get You did to Neck Deep, where
Really?
they had Rain in July, then they had Wishful Thinking, they had their fan base. Like they were not a small band after Wishful Thinking. They had a
hmm
good base, but then they released Life's Not Out to Get You, and they just blew up. Everyone knew who they were. They had 13-year-old girls at their concerts now, rather than just the angsty teenagers and the people in their mid 20s like myself who just don't want to grow up.
Yeah.
I feel like this album's going to do that for Knuckle Puck. It's so
Yeah.
catchy and so good, and you can just tell they've put so much more into this than anything else they've done. They've grown so much, and it shows.
Yeah. I've seen a lot of growth with this album as well. But growth in the sense where we can see where they're going and like where they want to go, but also like where they've started. I think it has a really great balance.
Yeah,
Um,
it has that Knuckle Puck sound and tone to it all. It's just played out a lot better than it was at the beginning. Not that it ever was bad, but they just learned how to properly piece it all together.
Yeah. And I think something really interesting that Nick said in an interview with Upset Magazine, and I think this kind of speaks to the album as a whole and what they hope listeners take from it as a whole. He says, not every song has to be an existential journey, which is true. We went into
Yeah.
this album wanting to make people feel good about who they are and not upset by who they aren't, which is something I think was touched upon in a lot of the songs. Um, there's so much, he goes on to say, there's so much to be angry about right now. And rather than contribute to it, we wanted to give people a reason to feel good. And I want people to listen to this record. Um, so yeah, I mean, like, this is a feel good record. And I think given the time that we're in right now, like that's the kind of music that people like if they need like that boost of energy and positivity in their lives right now, this album is definitely going to provide that for them.
Oh yeah, I think "Breathe" is the best song to do for 2020.
Seriously, it's
Just
called Breathe.
it's
Literally
called
follow the
"Breathe."
advice. Breathe.
Everything's so chaotic and hectic. Just
Mhm.
don't forget to breathe. Take
Yeah.
it right out of the chorus.
Yeah, my favorite line is buckle up because you're gonna feel it in the chest. We're due to decompress. And it's just like, it's so good. So
It's
good.
so good.
Yeah. So yeah, that's everything for me on this album. 8.5 out of 10 for me. Agree or disagree? I hope you enjoy the album. And if you don't enjoy the album, well, happens. Maybe your uh, album of the pandemic will be a future release sometime down the road. I hope
There's
the
plenty good
I
albums
don't know.
that came out, plenty still to come out.
Yeah, for sure.
If
And
you
yeah, let
guys
us.
if you thought anything different or wanted to share your opinion too, you can always tweet us at all punked
Yeah,
up on
seriously.
Twitter.
Yeah,
Let
please
us know
tweet
what you
us.
think.
Yeah, please tweet us at all punked up on Twitter, on Instagram, and or you can tweet Noah and I. I'm at Alibaba0531, which is a lame handle. And you can tweet Noah at Noah C Cross. It is Noah C Cross, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yep.
You can tweet Noah at Noah C Cross, and we would love to discuss this album with you guys, whoever's listening right now, what you liked, disliked, and what you felt kind of meh about. And yeah, please follow All Punked Up on all of our platforms, and we'll catch you in the next one. We hope all of you are doing okay.
Thanks for listening, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.